Hello, my name is John, and I'm sitting here with my mom, Cristina. The date is May 29th, 2019, and we are recording this in my house. Um, Finally, we got down to doing this. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing good. A little tired.
Yeah. Um, you have work today, right?
I did. I worked today, yeah.
Um, can you describe what you do at your job?
Sure. I answer phones. I work in a forwarding shipping company, kind of like FedEx type of deal. I answer phones, kind of like customer service. Help out drivers when they come in to pick up cargo and lots of paperwork, filing. Probably dealing with a lot of different stuff from overseas.
Yeah. Sounds pretty boring. Do you like it?
I actually do like it, and it's not boring. It's pretty interesting. Sometimes we get like some strange things like cows. Um, Sometimes we get puppies that people ship over from overseas. I like helping the people that call over the phone. Like I like talking on the phone a lot and helping out the drivers.
Um, the people at your job that you work with, are you friendly with them or is it just business?
Actually, I am pretty friendly. It starts out like a job. Maybe you work with them every day, different personalities. You learn how to work together and get along to get the job done. Laugh and joke a while to, make the time go by.
That's cool. So if there are any has your job ever taught you any lessons?
It actually has taught me a couple things. I've learned, I guess, just patience and kind of, I guess, to be kind, to treat people. We get a lot of, I feel like some of the drivers are from like all over the place. Some of them speak very little English and come in very confused. So you have to be patient and I guess treat them kindly. You don't want to walk into a place and everyone's rude and angry and you're already confused about how the process is there. So I learned to be nice and kind, and it makes me feel good, when they feel like a little more comfortable when you start talking to them.
That sounds nice. Um, what did you, seeing how your job is now, growing up, did you want to be anything else?
Yeah. Funny enough, even though I cannot sing for a while, I thought I could. So I was super into singing and music and I guess being artistic. I enjoyed drawing a lot. I liked to read, so maybe becoming like a book illustrator, like being an illustrator, drawing pictures was something that I would hope to have done.
That's cool. Okay, speaking of your like growing up, um, do you know where you were born and when?
Yeah, I was born in here, Chicago. I know the hospital, St. Mary Hospital. It's actually in the Humboldt Park community. I was born December 27th, 1985.
Okay, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Chicago. I think it's called the Belmont Cragen area. It's a nice little neighborhood. It was pretty quiet then. A lot has changed now, but it was really nice when I grew up there.
Can you like describe what it was like?
So what I remembered was, I guess a lot of the neighbors were a little older. So it was very quiet. Lots of trees. The house was kind of old, and I don't know. I remember for whatever reason right now that pops into my head was the huge apple tree that we had in our yard, and it was a nice place to. It was a nice little area to grow up.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about your parents.
Well, my mother was born in Puerto Rico. She came when she was very young. I think she was a little girl, probably I would say like middle school age. And she met my father young as well. He came here from Cuba. And yeah, they're a very hardworking family and just trying to do the best they can, work very hard. My dad works in a factory still to this day. And my mother, she grew up here and she worked as a secretary for most of her life. And then sold her house and is now living back in Puerto Rico.
Okay, you said your mom's from Puerto Rico, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your dad's from Cuba?
Mm-hmm.
So they're both from pretty different backgrounds. Have there been any traditions passed down from them?
I mean, nothing that you would think of like from their... I guess because they came here so young, they kind of started their own tradition. I mean, the only thing that I remember growing up that stuck out the most to me, that is kind of like what every American kid would probably remember, is leaving cookies for Santa Claus. And it was a lot of fun. I remember waking up and seeing the trail of crumbs leading to the door because we didn't have a chimney, and just the mystery of it all. I mean, that's about it. Even though they're from, two different islands, they kind of grew up here. So anything they started was something that they started here with us within our family.
Okay, and did they tell you any like maybe stories from their childhood or something like that?
So my father always told me a ton of stories. He has a story of how he came from Cuba to here, to Chicago, or to, I guess, the United States. It's funny because he says that he came on like some kind of jet. The military, I guess, was in Cuba for something. I really didn't listen that well, even though it's a very interesting story. And he talked about having to stay like in the jungle and hide out, and how they had to be very secretive, and how much his parents paid like a ton of money for the military to bring him over. And it was actually the American military. It wasn't like the Cuban military. And then funny story was that we were sitting down all together talking about, my dad was talking about this story, and my grandma, which is his mother, was there, and she actually called him a liar and claimed that he had came over in a submarine. And it was really funny because she was very angry at him. How can he forget that he came in a submarine? Obviously, he didn't come in a submarine. I'm not sure why they said that, but he got very upset and they argued. And to hear two Cuban people argue, it gets loud, and it was just a really funny story. I kind of still not sure how he got here. Not sure if it was a military plane type of jet that he claimed it was, or if it was a submarine.
Guess we'll never know, huh?
No, I don't think we will.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have an older sister. I have an older brother, and then I have a younger brother.
What were they like growing up?
I didn't really grow up with my older sister. So I didn't really know her that well. As for my older brother, we didn't grow up in the same household, but he did come over and hang out and spend the night. And he was kind of, I guess, a typical big brother, little sister. He used to he was very considerate, hiding out, calling me Cristina, trying to scare me all the time, and would just call me a tattletale. And then my younger brother, whom we did grow up in the same household, I guess it was a typical big sister, little brother relationship, where it was mostly me telling him, "Leave me alone, Junior. Leave me alone."
Okay. What did you look like as a kid?
As a kid, so I was super skinny, super skinny with big, curly, crazy, untamed hair, which that hasn't changed that much. And I guess just skinny, and I guess I looked happy all the time, smiling a lot.
Okay. How would you describe yourself? Like your attitude or something
My
like that.
my attitude, like now,
As a kid.
as a kid, well, I guess like I said, like pretty happy. I was always very creative. I know that I didn't like to share my things. I like to talk a lot, which that hasn't changed. So,
Did you have a nickname?
I did. My family and close friends called me Christy, and my older brother kind of called me Chris, and I think my dad kind of calls me Chris. And Christy and Chris. And when I was in trouble, it was Christina, which is my name. It's not a nickname.
Did you get in trouble a lot?
No, not really. I guess it was more about chores and stuff when things weren't done around the house. But growing up, when I was a kid, not too often. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I probably didn't do much of my homework, and that would get me in trouble.
Predictable. How would you describe the perfect day?
Growing up or a perfect day now?
Both.
Both? Well, I guess growing up, usually the perfect day was usually in summer. I loved when those hot days where you've been out all day playing, running, and sweating, and the sun was starting to go down, and the lighting bugs were out, and we were just out running, collecting lighting bugs, and it's a very peaceful feeling. I guess now a perfect day now is usually with my family. And usually I love movie nights when everyone gathers around and there's snacks. And of course, my doggies. That's a perfect day now. I love that.
Sounds nice. What did you think your life would come to be? Growing up?
Growing up?
How did you see your future?
You know, I didn't think much of it. I guess like most of us when we're young, we're in a rush to just be a grown up and do what we want and kind of be like, wait till I get older. And I look back on it and wish that I was more, I guess, slow paced and enjoyed the moment and being young and being a kid and realizing how hard it gets when you get older. Like I should have just enjoyed the time more and not rushed to grow up so fast.
Okay. How was your transition to high school?
My transition to high school. So it was nothing what I expected. It was kind of a shocker. Both my parents are very strict, especially my mother. So I didn't go. I went to the Chicago Public High School, which was not one of the greatest. So when I got there, it was like this kind of awakening of so much freedom, not like when you're in grammar school where everybody walks you, but like you're on your own. Figure it out. Here's your schedule, figure everything out, figure out your classes, being on time, going to class, doing your schoolwork. You kind of become lost in the school. It's not so personal like grammar school, so it was a big shock getting there.
And you met Dad in high school, right?
I did, yes.
Would you say that your relationship has strengthened?
I do think so. We were just young kids and we've learned so much together. I mean, basically have grown up together and we've learned a lot. I can't really speak for him, but I've learned patience and yeah, I mean, it's it's changed a lot. We were just two young kids that didn't know anything about life, and here we are as adults, just learning, still learning actually, how to make everything work and respect each other and be honest and get along.
Can you describe the moment you saw your child for your first time?
For the very first time that I saw my child, it was super emotional. You were so tiny, and I just couldn't believe it. It doesn't feel when you're on your pregnancy, you feel, something growing inside of you, and then when you're finally here, when your baby's finally here, and you're holding him for the very first time, you're looking at him. It's an unbelievable feeling. You just it's almost unexplainable, but you don't even understand that you can love anyone so much than that moment. It's beyond love at first sight. It's a bond that I feel that lasts forever. That first moment, just laying eyes on your baby, on your child, it's beautiful.
Being so amazing and um, like seeing how having a child was. How do you think being a parent has changed you?
Um, it's changed me a lot. I've learned that so being a first time parent, it was very scary, and you're always in fear of making a mistake. It's very unpredictable. You don't know, and it almost feels like you're never gonna know if you're doing the right thing. And then, having a second child, which is Kayla, your sister, you realize to kind of slow it down and enjoy the moments. And if you make a mistake, it's okay, because you're a parent and you're human, and you're kind of learning as you go, and you just have to try to do the best that you can for these little kids, these babies. They grow up, and just make sure that you do everything that you can for them. So I guess it's taught me a lot. I'm still learning. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop learning. So it's taught me to keep working hard and do everything that I can to make sure that you and your sister have a life that I never had.
Okay. For your kids, do you have any for me and my sister Kayla? Do you have any dreams for us?
My dream is that you guys live your life to the fullest. I want you guys to get an education, not to just get one, so that, you get a career that you like and be able to, like I said, have the life that I never had, but not just about money. I want you guys to be happy and to have peace in your life and surround yourselves with good people and good things and just have a good life. I don't even know how to explain that in detail. I think we'll be sitting here forever, but I guess what will sum it up, which is my favorite word, is peace. There's nothing more important than waking up every day with peace and going to bed every day with peace, and that's what I would want for you guys.
Very, very nice. Do you have any favorite stories about us?
Favorite stories. Just let's see. Favorite stories. So I love being able to watch you guys play sports. I guess these are more general stories. How you and Kayla are total opposites. I guess she's more aggressive, and I love that in her. I love her strength and aggression and her passion. And then you're like the opposite. You're very laid back and calm and relaxed. And I love that about you. It's like two opposites that make a great brother and sister combo. I guess just Kayla calling you mad. You guys, I guess a story that you probably talk about a lot is how Kayla was usually the aggressor, but she was so tiny and so cute that we kind of didn't notice. And I guess one time she bit you, and I think we even have this on a home video, like she bit your head, and you were like, ow, and you didn't hit her, but you did the gesture with your fist like you were gonna hit her, and then we just looked like, macho, you better not, and you're like, what? Like, you didn't even do anything yet. But those are always fun moments, and there's a lot of those kind of moments.
Yeah, even now, right?
Yeah, even now.
Seeing that, was it hard, I guess, raising me and my sister?
It is. I mean, I don't think it's easy. I guess, how can I say this? I don't think the good things in life are easy. I mean, you don't appreciate anything if it's easy, right? I mean, you just get it and it's done. It's like, oof, over with. But it's been a tough job raising both of you guys. Like I mentioned before, I live in constant fear that I'm doing something wrong, and that's not always a good feeling. I'm always second guessing my choices because I want them to be right. I don't want you guys to be sad or feel pain, or maybe even a bad thing is I don't want you guys to make any mistakes. Before I want to stop you guys before you guys even make the mistakes or disappointed. But I guess you have to kind of live. You're not going to learn anything if you don't make any mistakes.
Okay, so nearing the end of our little interview, I wanted to talk about how I got my nickname.
Your nickname?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I always like talking about this because you asked me, and so does Kayla. So I never set out to give you a nickname. Like, I wasn't, oh, let me make something up. It was an accident. It was kind of, you were always very serious when you were small, when you were a baby. If we look at your pictures, you never were like a giggly baby. You're always very serious looking and almost tough, and you look so chunky. And it was kind of funny how your chunky little body looked kind of like a little muscular man baby. It was weird. And yeah, I mean, I would just call you my macho man, and it kind of stuck. And I'd be like, oh, come on, my little macho man. And I kept using it, and eventually it turned to macho. And actually, a funny story was when you were smaller, we went to visit your father's grandmother. So we went to visit your father's grandmother, and we were there, and your dad was eating some food, and he was sitting out, hanging out, and all of a sudden she was like, oh, my macho man. And she was actually talking about your father. So it was weird. We had never discussed, like, oh, this is what I called you. It was just a funny moment. I was like, what did you call him? She's like, yeah, this is my macho man. Talking about your pops and how he was a macho man. And yeah, it was funny. It was like, wow, I never planned as your dad. Didn't even know. Like, he kind of wasn't paying attention to the fact that, when I showered you or played with you, I'd be like, macho man. It wasn't like a constant thing that I would call you. But eventually it kind of just stuck, and it went from macho man to just macho. And of course, when your sister used to call you was mach, and you used to hate it. But yeah, that's how it stuck, and it's just stuck ever since.
I don't know if I remember it right, but was that my Kayla's first word?
It was. She used to say mach. Well, we like to think, I'm pretty sure it was mama. Or ma.
That's what they say.
Yeah, but you would love, but yeah, like the first, like right around she learned, well, immediately was mach. Because of course she was going to call you macho man or macho, but she'd say mach. And that probably was not just like one of her first words, but something that she used to say like all the time. It's probably why it drove you crazy. Like, stop calling me that. It's macho.
Okay, that's cool. So throughout your life, what are the most important lessons that you learned from when you were born to
now?
now?
I guess not to not to waste time arguing and being angry. Trying to let go of anger, because I feel like it always weighs you down, and I think I've learned that most. And how to be patient, and of course, I mean, something as simple as that everyone should know is like treat other people the way you would like to be treated. You know, whether it's respect or kindness. And one of my biggest things is to laugh. Like, I like to laugh. I like to be silly. It feels so good after you've laughed and clowned around. Like, life is short, and enjoy every moment and be happy and make yourself laugh a lot. Don't count on other people to make you happy. You have to bring it out in yourself.
Beautiful.
Aww.
So, last thing, what are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I mean, my kids. I kind of decided that when I became a parent that I would do everything I can to make sure that you guys grow up and be good people. And like I said, like, you never know, you can love someone so much, and I love you and Kayla so much. And you know, you guys grow and impress me and surprise me in good and sometimes bad ways, but it's what I'm most proud of. I feel like it's what I've worked the hardest for, is to be a good mother. And you know, sometimes it comes with some difficult moments, but man, sometimes you guys impress me, and I cannot believe you and Kayla are my kids. Like, yeah, these kids are mine. They're pretty amazing.
Feels good, right?
Yeah, feels good.
Alright. I guess this is it. Thank you, Mom, so much for your time and sharing everything with me today. Love you.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you for choosing me for this interview. It's pretty fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.